So as you read from the title, what we're doing today is we're gonna rank every cosplay that competed on Heroes of Cosplay. If you have not watched the 2-hour headache that is the Heroes of Cosplay video yet, this won't spoil anything, but I feel like it's a lot better if you've already seen it. If you've never seen a tier list before, I'm sure everybody has seen a tier list at this point. But we have what I think is every single cosplay that competed on Heroes of Cosplay. I have put some of the groups all together and some of the groups separated. I might have missed one, I don't know, but I think this is going to be fun because one of the things I knew didn't need to be in that video is me giving opinions about the cosplays that were in the show, because then the video would have been 4 hours long and we would have been way, the numbers would be way worse if it was any longer. But now I finally get to tell y'all what I actually think about these cosplays. And we're gonna put them into tiers. So S tier is the best tier. I have labeled the S tier as iconic. A is real good, not real, just a real good cosplay. B is it's okay, it's a mid, it's mid. C is and D is no. And I'm not going to be ranking these on like, well, would these win a cosplay competition, right? We're not ranking them based on craftsmanship because there's a text call out even in the Heroes of Cosplay video that's like, I cannot do that because I haven't been able to actually look at these cosplays up close. So this is literally just like based on nothing. It's based on my own opinion. We're gonna be a little bit roasty, a little bit very flattering to some of these, because some of these builds are really, really fun, and a lot of what I have to say is just based on joking. So, if anybody, I don't know that anyone in the cast would ever come across this Patreon stream, but if somebody does, this is all in fun and Minecraft and not for realsies, and these are not like my opinions on these cosplays as somebody that judges them. This is my opinion on these as somebody who was forced to watch this show and look at clips of this show over and over and over and over again for the last 4 months. This is how I feel about them now. Okay, are we ready? Let's start with something from episode 1. So we have the D&D cosplays from Holly and Jessica. I will factor in a little bit of like craftsmanship stuff into my decisions, but this is not like, don't take this as like what would win, right? Okay. The funny thing is, one of them was a tiefling and one of them is a drow. I'm gonna put this in mid. They're fun. It's always like, it's just hard to do a cosplay of a D&D character that's like your own thing and have it not be mid unless you do something crazy. But I will say they get a lot of credit here in that Holly is cosplaying a drow, and when I was watching the show, I was like, oh no. Oh no, what is she gonna do with the body paint? But she did gray, which is fine. But if she had done something else, we might have been in no. But we'll put them in mid. Becky's Merida. I'm immediately putting this in no because of the Sharpie dyeing the wig. And I will say, I did get something wrong in that video. I did see this in the comments. I made a comment about Becky Sharpie dyeing this wig in that I said Rit dye did exist back then. Apparently, Rit dye more did not exist back then. However, you know what did exist back then? The alcohol inks that you can buy. There was no reason to do a Merida wig in Sharpies like that, especially when my big problem with it is that So, like, the reason she did that, actually, the reason she Sharpie dyed that wig is because I doubt that she could find a wig that was curly in the way she wanted, that was in the color she wanted, but also at the same time, Copic markers existed. If you're gonna do it with markers, why are you doing it with the brightest orange Sharpie, right? Like, this is a no, 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 no. Solely based on the fact that that technique is just like the last thing you should be doing. It just is. Also, red wigs of that color probably did exist, yes. Like, wigs were harder to get back then, but Arda wigs was available at the time, and they did have orange wigs. I'm pretty sure in 2013 Epic cosplay wigs were a thing too. Like, we're not talking about, like, 2005 before Arda. This is the first episode might have been shot in 2012. But she definitely had access to orange wigs that she could have curled. I don't know that she knew how to curl a wig. Oh, Jesse's a Vault Dweller. Okay. I'm gonna give that a real good. Jesse's Vault Dweller cosplay. And I have some theories as to why Jesse's Vault Dweller didn't win anything. When you look at Jesse's work, like, throughout the show, obviously I've never seen this man's work in person. Just seeing it in the show, there are aspects to his work that are, like, you can even just see in the shots that they give you that either not everything is handmade, which is fine, but you're not going to be put quite above somebody that did do more handmade work. Becky won in that contest probably because of the accent. Like, she got an honorable mention, and I think it was because they were into the role-playing part of it, because it was weird. But the Vault Dweller, like, I think he used, like, it looks like the front of it is, like, football padding, like the football thing. And it looks like he built a lot of stuff around that, which is a fine way to do things. Were the cosplayers all being judged in Masters? No, because all of these contests were stupid. There were a bunch of, like, there's a whole rabbit hole to even talk about with why they went to the contests that they went to. They went to them mostly either, this is what I found out from Yaya, they either went to the contest because the show was able to make a deal and, like, contracted a bunch of cons that were owned by the same parent company. That's why you see a bunch of the Wizard Worlds and stuff. They just could do a bunch of Wizard Worlds. These contests did not work like the way contests do today. When I was watching your video, I was genuinely confused why he didn't place. But yeah, if it's not totally handmade, I could totally see it. Yeah, I think, like, in that episode, the best in show is that Galactus cosplay. And that cosplay is really impressive. They do actually have Yaya talk about why that cosplay won at the end of the episode, but they do not have her say anything about any of the contestants' stuff. They do not explain why Jessie didn't place. My speculation on why Jessie did not place in the Vault Dweller with the really cool gun is because the Galactus was much more clean and more well crafted and had more handmade elements than the really cool flashy stuff that Jessie had with the Vault Dweller. The Vault Dweller is a cool cosplay, but what I was trying to say earlier, you can see that Jesse, especially at this time, not everything he makes is, like, super clean, and you can really see it with the steam trooper. Sorry, I couldn't remember Steam Trooper for some reason. Anyway, all right, I think we're on to episode 2, but we'll probably go out of order a little bit because I'm not going to remember where any of these are from. But let's go with Holly's Lolliari and her sprayed balloon latex alien. Real good. The fact that she even, or they are a she, they, I believe, so I'll go back and forth with what pronouns I use because some people like both, like people to use both. The fact that they even know how to make something out of balloon latex is crazy to me. And like the alien is great. The cosplay itself is really simple, but there's nothing wrong with that cosplay. It's just a really, really simple cosplay, which is obviously why they also made the alien. But nothing wrong with it. I think it's real good. I think the techniques used on that alien are really impressive. The tank girl, where's tank girl? Because here's the tank girl. Honestly, I'm gonna put tank girl in mid. Oh, I didn't mean to zoom in. Anyway, the reason I want to put tank girl in mid is because, like, there's nothing wrong with it. The first bald cap ever worn, though, right? Okay, by the way, she doesn't actually say she's the first person ever to wear a bald cap, but she goes on and on and on about how nobody has done a bald tank girl before. And I'm just like, how do you know that? How? You haven't seen every person that's worn tank girl? So I'm a little biased against the tank girl just from the sentiment that she was like, nobody's done it before. Somebody's probably done a bald tank girl before 2013. Zoo is screaming behind me about how she did tank girl in 2012 and shaved her head for it. See what I mean? There's no way in 2013 nobody had done a bald tank girl yet. Like, what? The gun is really cool. The gun isn't like super duper clean, but the fact that she was able to make that in a couple days is crazy. But at the same time, a gun like that where that's really dirty and weathered is the kind of thing where you can be kind of messy with the EVA foam and you won't even like see that there's stuff wrong with it. Tank Girl also seems mostly like stuff that like she made the gun, obviously, but I think those are mostly just like purchased pieces of clothing that she weathered, which is a totally fine thing to do for cosplay, but in a competition it's just kind of like, you know, well, I can judge the weathering you did on this t-shirt, but you didn't make this t-shirt, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna put Tank Girl in mid. The No Flutter Steampunk Poison Ivy, I don't know. But first of all, my big problem with this is that the fact didn't credit any of the fan artists. This is a piece of No Flutter fan art. I'm gonna put this in mid too. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of stuff in mid, honestly. The illustration is just like, it's No Flutter, you know? You don't expect No Flutter cosplays to be that simple, and it just feels very simple. Was steampunk the main thing people cosplayed back then? Because the majority of them are steampunk. No, that episode, that con had a steampunk theme, which is why there were 2 steampunk cosplays at that. The con was like featuring steampunk. Speaking of steampunk, we have the steampunk stormtrooper, which I'm actually going to put in. And the reason is, so if you look here, do you see how thin this is? And this, like, I believe, now we knew because we saw him use it. We know that he had a vacuum former. And so these pieces are either made using the vacuum former, which is a thing, if you don't know what a vacuum former does, it's using a vacuum to, like, heat mold plastic over a shape. Like, that's how he made the helmet. The fact that the man even has a vacuum former is impressive in itself. Like, that's crazy. The helmet is very impressive. It's a vacuum formed helmet. That is very cool. However, these pieces are so thin, and obviously nowadays you see, and like if you look right here, I mean, like I guess that's the strap coming in, but it just looks kind of clunky. Like this pauldron looks clunky. This paint, like it's not even that the paint is weathered through here, which is what you would want in steampunk, but the paint doesn't look like great, you know what I mean? Like it's hitting a lot of things with armor making that are not things that you like give awards to, you know? Like, it's impressive that he vacuum formed a helmet, but like that wasn't gonna win because it just wasn't like fine. It wasn't great craftsmanship. We love Jesse, but like, you know, at this time, I saw a little bit of his work when I like did research into everybody. He's definitely improved over time. Okay, next up, the Tron dress. I'm putting it in no, because Tron Legacy is a bad movie, and that's it. Okay, I'm kidding. I saw Tron Legacy. I haven't seen it in a long time. I know everybody dunks on that movie and that, like, no one remembers it. This is actually pretty cool. Like, the craftsmanship that Jinyo put into this is really nice. But I've moved it up to real good because we're gonna respect Jinyo and how talented he was in him making this dress for Victoria. And the funny thing is what is so stupid, and I didn't get into this in the Heroes of Cosplay video, but this is such a stupid, like, plot point, because the reality is what Jinyo and Victoria were doing would have been literally totally fine if Jinyo was the one competing and was just like, here's my model, it's my girlfriend or my fiance, or it's not in the video, but they get engaged on the show. I think they're also still together. I think. But you are literally allowed to make a cosplay for someone else and enter it into a cosplay contest. You are just the person competing. So if you're a mom and you make a really elaborate, really cool cosplay for your 10-year-old kid and you enter it, that child is in the adult division that maybe the mom is a master's cosplayer. That child is in the master's category, but they are not actually the one competing. They are the model. And this has been a thing for a long time. Jinyo should have just been the one competing. Period. Victoria was his model. But his work was really cool. Okay. Moving on to I believe these are all the Megacon cosplays. So the taffeta. Becky's taffeta. I'm gonna put it in and I'm gonna tell you why I put it in Let me pull up. Actually, I'm just gonna zoom in right here. So right here, the jacket, she made the jacket. She did make this jacket, right? I'm putting this in mostly because the jacket is unlined and the zipper is doing that thing with an unlined jacket zipper where it just like sticks out really bad, and that drives me crazy on anything I make. And so we're giving her an for that zipper, but also the fact that the car the poor car that never made it to the stage. Okay, Riddle's Rocketeer. Obviously, the Rocketeer cosplay got a whole segment in the video, but we have our first iconic. This is the very first iconic, and I'll tell you why. This is a really, really impressive cosplay. This is a really beautiful cosplay. That leather jacket, even though she did not make it, is absolutely beautiful and stunning, and the man who made that jacket should be really proud, but she should also be really proud of that helmet and that rocket pack, because it's really simple, but that cosplay shows off so many different really cool techniques, and they're so well executed. Like, the helmet is so perfect, and the rocket pack is so perfect. I don't give a that it lights up, but the leather jacket is a leather jacket like that is so difficult, and even though she didn't make it entirely by herself, it's a really beautiful cosplay. But the light was the best part. You love lighting. What do you mean? Does anyone want me to explain why I was so angry about the lights? Here's the reality of the situation when it comes to lights in competing. If you buy you know, Christmas fairy lights that come with the little battery pack, and you sew Christmas fairy lights into something and then just turn them on with the battery pack. Fun. Cool for you. Love that you are like want that in your cosplay. If you just want that in your cosplay, that's cool. That is not impressive from a judging standpoint. You sewed in some pre-strung lights. That's cool. If you, and I say this as a person who does not understand electricity and doesn't know how to wire lights, but if somebody actually does the wiring for the lights, then I am impressed. Lighting is impressive if you did something custom, right? Like the that Kamui cosplay does with the LEDs, like, they don't need to be programmed LEDs, but if you wired up the lights yourself, like the lights that Riki has in the Ash cosplay where they go into the bow, and that how that she had, they didn't show this in the show, but I could tell this is how it worked. She had the battery pack in her like arm guard. The fact that the bow was fully translucent and its wire went into her arm is really, really smart and really impressive, and actually way more impressive even if her battery died. Way more impressive than the EL wire that got put into Katie Cosplay's Wonder Woman. I'm just going to the Cats cosplays. These are iconic. I love these cosplays. I hate them because they made them out of real wool and they made Jessica throw up, but I love them. They're so stupid. I did get to talk to somebody, though, who saw Cats the Memesicle, the skit that they did in these cosplays. I talked to somebody who got to see it in person, and they told me it was not funny. They told me it was straight up not funny and that it was really weird. But these cosplays are really cute and I love them, and they're one of my favorite things from the show. And Grumpy Cat is just an icon. Obviously, Grumpy Cat is late. Grumpy Cat is no longer with us, but Grumpy Cat is one of the best memes that ever existed, and these are funny. I had actually never heard of the box cat meme that she is, but the Grumpy Cat one is great. Just Nemesis T-Type says just like the musical. Yeah, in some ways, it's like, maybe it does work. Okay, so the Fushigi Yugi cosplays. The Fushigi Yugi cosplays from Anime Matsuri. No. Okay, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Because I have a backstory. And I am just gonna pull up, I'm gonna pull up the comment. I'm gonna pull up the comment and read it to you. Here's the story. Y'all ready for this? So these Fushigi Yugi cosplays have quite a backstory. Are you ready for there's extra tea on these Fushigi Yugi cosplays that is putting them in no in the bottom tier. So, if you remember, these cosplays were done for Anime Matsuri. And in the Anime Matsuri episode, was the first one to feature prejudging, and one of the judges was God Save the Queen's Fashion. There was a prop maker, but one of the judges, the person that got labeled as just World Cosplay Summit, was a person named Rin. Rin was a World Cosplay Summit representative. They had actually, I believe they had gone the previous year, like they had just gone to World Cosplay Summit and were judging for Anime Matsuri. And Rin commented on the video. Hi, I'm Rin, one of the judges from episode 4. Thank you for clarification, by the way. I swear I'm a very experienced judge, just 100 years old. I gotta say, I look back on the Heroes of Cosplay experience as though we were in an amusing fever dream. The judges and I weren't associated with the show. We were contracted by the con, but we're just pulled in last minute. So we were able to witness the production craziness without getting in too deep. A memory stands out for me, is when the production team tried to get us to record generic statements about the contestants. Quote, wow, they look great, etc. We knew we would be edited inappropriately / manipulated later, so we refused to do it. Instead, we said highly specific commentary that could only be associated with that cosplayer. Like, wow, Monica's chiffon really flows nicely on stage. Unsurprisingly, none of that was used, but it felt like a nice little defiance. Another key memory, here's the backstory on the Fushigi Yugi cosplays. The production team really tried to coach me to judge the Fushigi Yugi costumes harshly, because those were the same costumes my partner and I made for World Cosplay Summit 2010. I think that's why they gave me the World Cosplay Summit title, even though I wasn't representing World Cosplay Summit in that particular contest. They said things like, you know this costume inside and out. They should feel that pressure. Obviously, I did not do this. However, I can absolutely vouch that the production tactics Yaya alluded to in her interview, and I can't imagine the pressure that she felt. Okay, now here's the extra tea that I got from somebody else. It wasn't just that, like Rin had done those for World Cosplay Summit, which again is the biggest cosplay competition in the entire world, and especially back then, it was the biggest one in the world. They didn't just do like the same characters, they did the exact outfits of those characters. They also apparently copied the choreography of the skit that Rin did and used the same music to compete. And the assumption is that they did this because they were trying to elicit a response out of Rin to try to get like some drama for the camera. And you know what Rin did? She said nice things about that cosplay. And they didn't even use them. Isn't that hilarious? Like, let's go to the first con they have prejudging at. They hit this wall of cosplayers that are like, no, we see what you're trying to do, and we're not gonna let you do it. I love that. I replied to her comment, and I gave her big props for not letting them get her like that, which is crazy. And it makes so much sense, because like in the confessional where Monica like talks about doing Fushigi Yugi, she's like, oh yeah, I saw Fushigi Yugi when I was a kid and I've always wanted to cosplay that. Let's do those. And it's just like very little passion, like, yeah, we're doing those for the TV show. Anyway, those are in no, not because they're bad cosplays. They're very nice cosplays, besides the fact that Victoria's was falling apart. But they're a no, because while, you know, plagiarism in cosplay is complicated, doing the same cosplay and the same skit and the same choreography, like, it's not even like this was like it's one thing if we're talking about an existing dance, right? There is existing choreography for pop stars, right? Doing a full group of KDA and doing the choreography to pop stars is not the same thing. And like two different groups of people doing that, not plagiarism. You're doing existing choreography. This was not existing choreography, and this was specific movie. You know what I mean? Like, just because one group of people does a full group of of KDA and performs pop stars does not mean no one else can ever do it again. But when it's really specific things like this, it's like, we know what you're doing. Anyway, that's a no. Moving on, I guess we're on to Planet Comic-Con. So the singles from Planet Comic-Con, the paper, Jinyo's paper comic book hero for Victoria, put it in mid, because like it broke. It's just this like paper corset thing, but I mean it's cool that you made a corset out of paper. You know what I mean? Jesse's Mandarin from Iron Man 3. I'm out of order here, I think. I think this one is actually from season 2, but I'm just eyeing it. I'm gonna put it in mid. I don't think I looked at this cosplay a whole lot. The rings being in metal are cool, and I actually love that he used his own hair, and I love that he needed help getting a top knot. I thought that was one of the most adorable things in the show. But nobody likes Iron Man 3, so on that vibe, he's getting mid. Let's see. I was trying to go in order. Becky's Elizabeth. So apparently, and she says this on the stage, apparently Lance made the jacket, but nobody ever talks about who made the corset, and I think the corset is purchased. And she looks pretty in this, but I'm gonna put it in no, because BioShock Infinite being your favorite game is the most basic ass thing you can be, and on that alone, we're putting it no. It's a cool cosplay, and I'll put it in mid. It's in mid. It's a nice cosplay, but I don't give a about BioShock. And that's that. On that vibe alone, it's mid. Everything's gonna be in mid. Who's next? Okay, now we're at the big season finale. Monica's Cheshire Cat. Of the 3 from that, so we have here the group, the Alice Madness Returns group, Yaya's Queen of Hearts, Riddle's Alice with the meat dress, and Monica's Cheshire Cat. I'm gonna put this in because don't ever take what I'm about to say as this applies to anything you do in cosplay for fun. Do whatever you want in any cosplay you want. I'm putting this in because this is a competition cosplay, and I'm pretty sure that the corset she was wearing was just like one of those like cheap corsets. If you want to wear cheap corsets, more power to you. I hate them because they are so shapeless and they don't look good on anybody. And I hate them. So I'm putting that in That's like my personal gripe. The meat dress though. The meat dress is iconic. She sculpted a dress. And what's so wild to me is, and this didn't end up in the video, but what is really crazy is in that episode, she says, this is not a portfolio piece for me. Like, this is not, because remember, Riddle wanted to get into, like, TV and movie costume stuff. And so she's trying to build up this portfolio to, like, get jobs. You sculpted a dress! How is that not really, really impressive for your portfolio? That's one of the coolest things I've ever seen. She sculpted a dress. Yaya's Queen of Hearts, also iconic. The meat hands, the crown falling off, the fact that it was so quickly made. But I don't love the way the gold, I think it's like gold vinyl. I'm not actually sure what the gold is, but I don't love like that material in general. But it's iconic. It's still iconic. The gross sausage fingers are hilarious, and the crown falling off in and of itself is iconic. The Astrid is just honestly the wigs on those, and these are they were just too quickly put together. Like, we know these 3 people are talented. We know Becky, Holly, and Jessica are talented people. These were not their best works. And there's just, you know how they say on Great British Baking Show that like it looks a little bit rough and ready? These cosplays were just a little rough and ready. They were just a little too rushed through, and we know that is production's fault. But those are We're moving on to season 2. The Pokemon group that I have as a whole group as one. This is going in, simply for the Plasti Dip spraying in the face. That was a little ridiculous. And the fact that Jessica again claimed to be the first person to cosplay this very simple Pokemon trainer. Like, you don't think anyone in the world just already had a black shirt and a red skirt and a red hat when that came out and just put them on and did a cosplay of the Pokemon trainer? Like, there's no way. No one had done it yet. There's no way. Unless it's like, claiming you're the first person to cosplay a thing is, wild, because there's so many people in the world. Especially when it's something simple like that. Like, if Sakizo dropped a new illustration and somebody, got it together in, like, a week, which would, crazy, then yeah, maybe you're the first person to ever cosplay that thing, but, like, for Pokemon? The Jesse's Mega Man. I gotta put it in no. And here's why. The fact that it was covered in scratches when he took it out. Like, that thing was, like, the paint on that was not sealed well enough. And that was probably because he didn't have enough time to do that. But the fact that it was covered in scratches when he took it out of the box is just like, okay, well, that didn't have, like, the paint wasn't sealed. Like, you didn't put enough stuff on that paint to make sure it didn't move. So we're gonna put that in no. Plus, he did not make that bodysuit. And then at that point, you're just like, you're showing off that you can do a thing, and that thing is EVA foam. And there's literally no other skill, like, shown on that cosplay. It's literally just foam smithing because he didn't make the bodysuit. Moving on to Miguel, who apparently had some pretty big scandals after the show and is completely gone off social media. His Black War Greymon. That one, I said it was a no-no. I said it was a in the video, but honestly, my own opinion on the real texture of the flooring foam is don't use it. And nobody really has this problem anymore because you can buy EVA foam that doesn't have a texture on it. But no, you can also see, like, a lot, like, this also looked very rough and ready, and obviously he didn't have a lot of time to do it. Like, for the amount of time he had, it's crazy that he even got something to put on his body. But I'm gonna put it in no, mostly because of the texture of the flooring foam is, like, a big no in my book, especially now, and obviously back then. What you would have to do, you'd have to Dremel it all off, and it took forever. Or you would double side it, or you would put craft foam over it or something like that. But I'm gonna put that in no. The Skeksis, though, I'm putting that in iconic. That Skeksis cosplay is really cool. The fact that it's a puppet is really cool. The head of that thing is really cool and detailed. Like, that's a really, really, really cool cosplay. And it's crazy that they made it within the time period on the show. Like, that's crazy. Let's see, the Dragon Age group. I'm gonna put those in real good. The Dragon Age cosplays are real good. Jessica didn't make that dress that she's wearing, but the Dragon Age group was good. We actually, like, in this episode, they actually talked about the duct tape pattern that they make for Chloe's little, like, fake leather breastplate. And I those are really nice cosplays. Jessica shouldn't have been competing in that, but, you know, she was doing it for the TV show. But those are really nice cosplays. Jesse's Ass Creed. I'm putting this here because, okay, I won't put it in no. I want to put it in no, because I have such a vendetta against the Assassin's Creed franchise. I'm still not over Assassin's Creed 3. I know it's been over 10 years, but I'm still really really not over how bad Assassin's Creed 3 was and how it ruined the franchise for me. So, but I'll put in It's Okay, It's Mid because he didn't make those pants. And pants are hard to make and are very impressive. Make your pants. Make your pants. I will be so impressed if you make pants. But yeah, he did like elk leather and stuff. This cosplay is cool. Haunt. I'm putting the haunt in, like, it's cool that the materials he used for the haunt are cool, but it just didn't look very good. Shazam. That's a too, mostly because of the binding on the hood and the way the hood is cut. If a hood has a center seam, I hate it. No hoods should have center seams unless it's absolutely necessary. I just hate hoods with center seams, and that binding did not look right from what I could see. The DC Rockabilly 50s villains, I'm putting this in no. I think they all look really, really cute, but I'm putting it in no because of the roller skates. That's dangerous. How did you let somebody on stage at roller skates? No. No. Do not let people on stage in roller skates. That's dangerous. Obviously that's on the con. But these are cute cosplays. I think they look really cute. We have another the lady, I think her name is Michelle. The Michelle lady as Catwoman, again with the Amazon corset. I don't appreciate, but I'm mostly putting it in no because of the roller skates. That's dangerous. You could fall off the stage. Indra's Ari. I'm putting that in iconic. The embroidery on that, I don't know how many shots of that embroidery I put in the video, but she's got some really beautiful embroidery on that. It's a shame that because of the show, she didn't have enough time to make sure that her stand-up tails were working, but even with them dragging on the floor, this is a really beautiful cosplay, and definitely, like, it wouldn't have been that much harder to, like, get those tails standing up if she had extra time. That's a really beautiful cosplay. Riki's Ash. I'm gonna put this in real good. Like I talked about the lighting of it earlier. The fact that that she wired it and that wire comes out of it and the battery pack is in her arm thing is really, really smart. And people have been doing that kind of thing for a long time, but that is, that's a customization that was done by that cosplayer, and I kind of think it's actually bullshit that they were mad that it didn't actually light up because her batteries died. Like, that's a lot of that's big bullshit. That should not matter. Katie's Wonder Woman, I'll put that in real good too. That's a really cool cosplay. Like I said earlier, I'm pretty sure the lights that they put in that lasso were like EL wire, which is electroluminescent wire, which usually, maybe they had to hook up the bottom of the battery pack, but they might have gotten one that just already had a battery pack and they didn't have to figure it out. I don't know. Chloe's Gage, I'll put it in real good. She did a really good job with like making the paint look like the character and all that stuff. It's a good cosplay. I'm pretty sure that's an Arta chibi, so shout out to Arta Wigs. Riddle's I think the character's name is Elizabeth, the Persona character. I'll put that one real good too. It's really simple. It's really well executed. It's a good cosplay. The Soul Calibur group from the season 2 finale. Those are good. The three of them together, like, they all look really good together. You can't really see them in the teeny tiny picture. They kind of got cropped out, but those are all really good. This skit they did was not super interesting. Jesse's Thorin Oakenshield, I'm gonna put that in real good too because of all the little, even though he didn't do them in metal, doing those in metal would have been stupid because it's heavy. But the fact that he cast all of those little guys, the like chainmail shirt or whatever, that's really cool that he cast all of them. Indra's She-Ra, I'm putting that in real good. That's just a really good She-Ra, and the weathering and the Warbler and all that. It's a very 2013 style cosplay with the armor and the weathering, but it's a really nice one. And then we finally get to the Peter Pan's Labyrinth group from the season 2 finale. That one was iconic. Those cosplays are really cool. I have had lots of people comment that the Wendy cosplay was not actually it wasn't Edwardian at all. People are saying it's, I don't think that is historical. But no, this skit is really good. I especially love Holly's Captain Hook. I think that cosplay is one of the coolest of the entire show, with the claw hand. Like this was just a really, really creative thing, and it's no wonder that they won. And the skit is actually really good. And finally, we have my favorite cosplay of the entire show, Carl's mannequin. Oh, poor Carl. I'm putting this in iconic though. This became this thing. This just is my favorite thing about this show. It's so bad. It's so bad it's good. It's so bad that it comes back around and is good. It's terrible. It's a terrible cosplay because it made him walk around all day with the chair. He couldn't move. He was screaming in pain when it went on his body. I doubt he ever wore this again. But it's iconic. It is my favorite cosplay that is on this show because it is so bad. It's so bad that it's good. The mannequin that is the epitome of what production did to these people. Like, we have these things like this where we have somebody like Holly Conrad that can, work on something like this Skeksis or make this really cool Captain Hook cosplay, just, ending up in a very simple bodysuit with an alien. Like that says a lot about what production was doing to these people, that somebody this talented is, wearing a Lolliari cosplay and is in a bodysuit. But the fact that this kid, everybody I've talked to about this show that has met these people, everybody I've talked to, including Yaya, says that Carl is the sweetest boy. Everybody says this man is a sweet, sweet boy. They got this poor chocolate milk boy. He saw the challenge he had and he said, I'm gonna do that. Iconic. We salute Carl's iconic mannequin. And he wins the tier list. That is our tier list. Thanks for watching this year-old Patreon stream re-upload. If you want to see the Patreon streams actually live or in full, then you can check out my Patreon because you can get access for just $1 a month. And a big thank you to Mel, or Pocket Leaves, who's editing these streams down for me so I can focus on my main channel videos. You can check out Mel's work on either their channel Pocket Leaves or Pocket Cons, and sometimes you'll even see me in their con vlogs. It's a special occurrence when it happens. But as always, if you're just watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, then you're supporting this channel too. So thank you. Bye!